Okay, you got Derain,
Chris Hoffman.
and welcome to the first episode of The Overthinkers, because we overthink shit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and we're
I don't know
just
what we think about this.
we're just trying to make sense of a universe that kind of doesn't fully make sense, and I don't think ever will to humanity. But our attempt to try and understand anything is good for the soul, I think, and good for me. It makes me feel at least intellectually connected to myself and other people sometimes, and certainly I enjoy those kind of conversations where we trying to understand what it is, all this stuff that's going on. There's so much to talk about, so many things going on in the universe that and in the world that it's just like, how do we make sense of it all?
Yeah, like, I don't really, to me, it was more like just discussing stuff to
Yep.
the point of getting to the point where, am I really overthinking this shit?
Mm.
And then that's why I like the name as well, because I'm like, you know what? I want to get to the point where I'm like, I might be overthinking this. And that's the point where I feel like I've kind of given it enough thought to be like, all right, let me step back from it. Let me take some time away
And
from
let
it,
go
and
of some
then
things.
we can revisit it later.
So a way to process some of these things a little bit, so that you're at a point where it's like, okay, I've got that now kind of settled. I'm going to come back to that later, as you said, revisit it at another time.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that I run with like I finished reading, well, listening to The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck
Yeah.
by Mark Manson, and I've just started listening to Black Privilege by Charlemagne the God.
Mm.
So, and both of them, like, they both have the same essence, the books, and every time, and I really like it because I feel like incorporated a lot of the stuff that they talk about into my
Mm-hmm.
life, but like now it kind of makes more sense when I'm seeing it from a like perspective of where it's kind of analyzed. So
Mm.
I know what they're talking about and I know why I'm doing it.
Yes.
I also didn't know why I was doing it clearly enough. And then I'm running with what they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
and then I realized that I might be overthinking this. So and
Yeah.
then I'm
Okay.
stepping back from it and going, let me just enjoy the book and
Yeah.
write down one or two things that they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna read it again. And I realized this is a really interesting thing. I said the only way the way we all know TV shows so well because we often watch them back to back again and again and again and again, and now I can like quote episodes from like Friends and tell you what is going on. I said I'm gonna do the same thing with the books.
As in, read them.
Just
Read.
listen to them.
Listen. Oh.
Yeah, I don't have the
And
time
this
to
is
read them.
the interesting thing about you and me is that, well, especially just recently, we've discovered that audiobooks are just the shit. Like, this is the best way to take in information. Not for everybody, but certainly for you, and certainly for me. I've definitely found that I've I think since discovering audiobooks in the past year, I've smashed out 24, 25, 26 books in the past year, which is just totally unheard of. I'd be lucky in the past to read one or two books a year. So to really just connect with so many books has just been a huge step in
Mm,
my life, and a huge capacity now to be able to analyze a whole lot of different ideas and thoughts. And I finally feel like I'm intellectually stimulated to the point where I feel right. Like my brain is something that needs to be stimulated all the
yeah.
time, and when it's not, it gets bored and it starts doing crazy shit. So it's great to finally have something, as in audiobooks and thoughts and ideas and some of the greatest minds of the past talking to me, and I'm having like a conversation with them, and I can't even talk back to them, but that's probably a good thing. It's I'm just sitting there listening and learning from the greatest minds of the past, and it's great. I love it. So
Do you know what? That's really interesting that you just said about having the conversation part of things. Because
mm,
I was literally just about, I think an hour ago I went to get some groceries,
sure.
and I was listening to Charlemagne's book
Yep.
Black Privilege, and I'm like laughing at the jokes, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, man, what you're saying is correct. And then I'm like, well, did I really just respond to an audiobook? Like,
Yeah.
did I really just respond to
Yeah.
like that, imagining as though I'm having that conversation with him, and I actually did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
I'm like, you speaking the truth right
Yeah.
now. And I, I think I sucked at reading books. I could
Same.
never read.
Yeah. I
I
was never that
hate
good at it
reading
either.
books.
Yeah.
And my brother, on the other hand,
Why? Why is it that we couldn't read books. Are we not good at putting the narrative into a voice that we connect with, or are we?
Probably. I always used to read them in my voice.
Yeah.
And I don't like my voice telling me what the other person's perspective is, because now it doesn't make sense to me. Actually, that's a really cool thing. It doesn't make sense to me when I'm saying it to myself.
Yes.
And I often found I was telling myself what the book was trying to say, and I'm like, yo, I can't, read it in the correct tone either.
Yeah.
And like when you hear like Charlemagne narrate himself, or you have the actor, I think there's an actor who narrates the subtle art of not giving a fuck, because it's not Mark Manson.
It's not Mark Manson,
Yeah.
but the person who did
Does
a
a great
really,
job.
really good job
Brilliant
of it.
job.
He's quite
his name.
sarcastic even in the way
Yeah.
he sort of says a lot of the things. And I remember really enjoying his commentary. Often I don't enjoy it when it's not the author. Sometimes it just takes it away a little bit, or they're just a bit monotonous, monotonous,
Yeah.
or they're sometimes they're boring, or they're not connected with it to the point where it's their work. But you get someone like, I think it was Trevor Noah's one, where I really, really started realizing that
The
author and their ability to captivate the whole story and just say it in a way, or captivate my attention by just saying the story in a way that's so entertaining, I suppose, and in a way that's connected to them, and it's just it's beautiful.
It's tonality, isn't it? At the end of the day,
Yeah.
the way they say it is how it's intended to be said,
Yes.
and then you kind of connect to it the way they intended you to connect to it to quite an extent.
Yeah.
I don't get, like, if I'm saying it, I don't get it, but like Trevor Noah's was great,
It was
because Trevor Noah
amazing.
was doing like accents. He's doing
Yeah.
the Zulu accent. He's doing the accents.
Yes.
He's doing all
Yes.
of those. Yeah, I can do it. I can do
can't do
I can
it.
do the
Very good.
click.
Do you have that in Indian or something?
No,
called
no,
that?
I just beatbox. I beatbox a little bit so I can do
Yeah,
it.
I just can't even. Yes, that was so
Yeah.
good. I reckon that's my favorite book of all time, the Trevor Noah one. That's
Yeah,
just,
no,
I laughed so hard, and also just as you said, the way he did all the accents, did his mum, did all the
stories.
people, and the stories in it are just
like I like
amazing.
and the way he's connected us, and he's always made sure that we know at what time, like, period in his life we're sitting at, or we're listening to what we're listening to, because often he goes back and forth
a little bit,
know,
but he was pretty.
he goes a little ahead and he talks about some stuff, like
Yeah.
when he's doing the DJs and the partying,
Yes.
and then he comes back to when his mom was shot, which is
Yeah,
actually a lot later, but then he also has to go back to points where he talks about the guy who is actually his stepfather.
Stepdad, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of that, but he's always made sure, like, I never found myself lost in that.
Yeah, I
Even
didn't
though he
feel
was
lost.
doing it,
Yeah, I didn't feel
I'm
lost.
like, I know what you're doing. I can follow you. I feel what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
And no, I really liked his book. Was great. Charlemagne's book.
I'll have to listen to that. Maybe
This one
next.
is actually as engaging as that one, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Wow.
Like I'm really enjoying this one. Maybe because I come from I'm hip hop.
Yes.
And I love hip hop. And
Yes.
Charlemagne's my favorite radio personality as well. So, and he's the one who inspired me with the idea of doing a podcast.
He's
And-
definitely got a very cool voice that's he speaks with
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't even know the word I'm thinking of, but I'm obviously not speaking in that way that I want to speak in, that he speaks in. He has
I don't know what it
purpose.
is.
He has a sense
intensity in a weird way that it's not too confronting, but it is too like, I don't know what it is,
It's
but he does it really well.
very entertaining.
Yeah, and he's also like his Andrew Schulz, who's on the Brilliant Idiots, called him autistically honest because
See, I reckon the other guy's the autistic one, but anyways,
you know what, he's also
on the spectrum.
autistically-
You
no,
reckon?
you know what? No. No. I think he likes to rile people up.
Yeah.
Like his comedy.
Which one? The other guy?
The white dude.
Yeah.
He likes to rile people up because he really likes to, like, his comedy is so, like, non-politically correct or like going with the flow.
But he could kind of get away with it just
He's
because
got
of his
one-
personality. It seems like.
No, he doesn't get away with it.
doesn't
He's
get
got
away,
a lot
he
of
gets
people
a lot of people-
calling him alt-right and
There we
shit
go.
like that.
Yeah.
No, he does this bit about calling. There's a bit. I still haven't watched it, but because I just saw it on Instagram, which is fuck feminism. I really want to watch this
Jesus
because I'm
Christ.
like,
He's
yo,
definitely like targeting a group of people and saying, well,
He's like, he says that I chase the funny if I find it funny, and he usually finds the funny in the stuff that people take seriously.
is he? And is that what he's trying to do? Is he?
He's like, no, he's like, I'm not doing it on purpose. I am like this.
Okay.
Like, I will do it because this is what I really want to say,
Okay.
and that's what is becoming that. And I
Alright.
respect that. I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of shit that I want to say as well, and I want to get to that of just belting it out, but belting it succinctly so that I can at least back up my own points.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm not doing
It's
it at the
dangerous.
moment. Where no, I mean I feel like not like in a discriminatory way,
Yep.
but in a way where it's like I will still kind of stand my ground in what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Charlemagne does that. This book, which I was talking about, the Black Privilege, and I'm keep pointing there because there's the books over there. But Black Privilege and The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, which is literally essentially talking about the same thing. That one's saying is telling you what to not give a fuck about, or what to
Or
give a
to
fuck about.
give a fuck about a few things,
But
but
like yeah,
they're
like pick
important
and
about
choose
it.
what
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
wanting to do. Whereas
Yeah.
this one is just saying live your truth. Essentially coming from a similar point, slightly different perspectives with very similar points.
Yeah.
Whereas like this one often says, if you live your truth can never be used against you.
Yes.
Right? If you put your insecurities out there, ain't nobody gonna be now plugging at it because you don't give a fuck about them.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Which is, and he said in that the interview when they had Mark Manson come in that you know he was even going to call this book the art of there was something about not giving a fuck or something
Yeah.
like that, and
And
yeah,
then he ended
so it
up
was
holding
very
it and
yeah,
sells
yeah.
2 million or something like
That's
that. It's quite funny. I really. But this, yeah, no, I get what he meant by it though, because now I'm reading the book and I'm listening to the book and I'm seeing him, and I say, you know what, this is quite similar to what he's talking about, except his is more ghetto and is more hood because he comes
Sure.
from a very small town
Yeah.
in South Carolina, and you know he's coming from that perspective, and he's talking
When
about
so a lot
and
of not giving a fuck's white privilege background.
essentially, yeah,
Not privilege, it's white privilege.
white privilege. You could
Yeah.
you could interchange the names.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He says Andrew, like when he was bringing that book up in that interview, well, in the Brilliant Idiots interview, he says he's like, oh, he points to Mark and he goes, I want to talk to you about chapter 5, you know, or something like that, and then Andrew Schultz goes, did you write the damn book? And
'Cause he knows the whole-
yeah, dude, it's called Black Privilege.
Yeah.
And
Because it's the same kind of concept.
because
Yeah.
it's really similar, but it's two different perspectives, but coming from the same like root
Sure.
is the way I would see it. But
Yeah.
yeah, quite interesting.
I remember finishing The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I read it, or listened to it earlier this year. And I remember getting to it, like, I really enjoyed it, but I remember finishing it going, I don't actually know exactly what that book was about.
I was gonna get to that.
And then I thought maybe I'll come back to it and read it again, or maybe I'll just read some summaries of it to try and make sense of it a little bit more. Haven't done so yet, so it's quite interesting that you've listened to it recently. So maybe I can start making sense of all of the meanderings of that book, I suppose. It's
Yeah, I know what you're coming from because there was points where I'm like, yeah, man, you're making a lot of sense, and then at the end of it, I'm like, wait, hold on, what was that? And
Yeah.
then it is kind of preachy as well.
is it? Yeah,
It's very
maybe it
preachy.
is. Yeah.
What he's preaching is great, and I think
Sure.
people should follow it. But it's preachy to the point where I feel like a lot of people won't.
Won't like that, or most people seem to like it.
Like that. I think they will like it because it's honest
Yeah.
and it gives you an out. Where, as in, like now that when someone's pointing it out and just saying that, yo, you can do these things and actually free your mind of a lot of the shit that you have,
Yeah.
clogged up in it.
Yeah, sure.
And now people listen to, you know what, this actually makes a lot of sense. And I see that because it does make sense when you're listening to it, but when you finish it, it's like,
What the fuck
wait,
was all
hold
that?
on, what? And usually, and look, I'm not gonna go about and say that that's the only book that's happened to me with. I mean, it's happened to me with many books.
Yeah.
Where I finish and I'm like, I don't exactly remember what was going on. But that used to happen to me in school.
Well, yeah. Probably the best analogy or similarity I've found with reading a book is actually traveling. Like when I go on a little trip somewhere, I completely engulf myself in that situation, and I'm there experiencing it and having all these new experiences, and I see the world from a new perspective, and that's great. And then I get back and I'm kind of like, I don't actually know what I learnt from that experience. Maybe in time I'll put it into perspective a little bit, but it was great and I enjoyed it, and some of it was shit and some of it was but it certainly, as I said, made me see the world in a different perspective. And I think that reading a book is kind of, or listening to a book is sometimes like that as well. It's like, I don't quite know exactly what I got out of that, but I certainly enjoyed it. I saw the world in a different way. I'm a better person from reading this or listening to it, and my brain is certainly thinking in a better way, and when I'm interacting with people, I feel like I'm better at that interaction. But can you relate to that?
I get that, yeah. No,
Metaphor?
because when it becomes a story, you're in that story.
Sure.
I often, like today, my boss, I was doing something, but I had the headphones on. I actually had one ear off the ear and one on the ear, so I could listen out if someone calls me. And he's calling me, and he calls me 3 times, right? And he's standing literally right behind me.
Yeah,
And my boss is cool. Like I get along with him really well. And he calls me 3 times, and I'm listening to what Charlemagne's saying, and I'm just like lost in what he's saying. And then he goes, "Yo, can I ask you to like turn the volume down a little bit on that?" And like,
Is it that loud?
like no, it's not that loud. But
Okay.
he's assuming that it's that
Yeah,
loud
yeah,
because I'm
because
not
you
listening
can't
to
actually
it.
hear him. Yeah.
And I'm going on the music, and he said on the music, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, yo, I'm not listening to music. I'm actually
Yeah.
listening to a book. And it's actually not that loud because I can hear you when he stops talking because there's no background like sound in it or anything.
Yeah.
And then he goes, right. And then he's like, yeah. He's like, I don't know. I've been calling you for like 3 minutes. Like nothing happened. I'm like, yeah, I was lost. Like I was.
How
And that's
funny.
the thing. It's a story aspect of it.
Yeah.
I find myself so into the author's journey that I forget to actually take in what I need to learn from it because I'm enjoying it. And
You're not thinking about what am I taking away
yeah,
from
I'm not
this.
looking
just,
at it from a learning perspective.
perspective.
I'm looking at it like, yo, this is a dope story. This is some good shit. Like
Yeah.
he's talking about dealing drugs and stuff, and now he almost got caught and like he was in jail for 3 months. Like I'm just understanding, and he always like rounds it up with like some kind of a learning at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it.
But and I guess that's the main reason I like listening to audiobooks because there can be I want to further my brain capacity. I suppose I want to improve my thinking and I want to improve just myself. I suppose it's all about self development and being able to enhance my communication skills and listening skills and just being a better person in the universe. I suppose. So when I'm listening, I am often thinking about. What am I taking from this? I suppose, but sometimes, yeah, you just do.
You get lost in it.
Yeah, you do get lost in it, but that's good as well because you are taking a lot of it in from that as well. And
Like I want to learn because from this pretty much same thing because I want to just get to know a lot of new shit. But at the same point, I want to tell people about it as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so my mind's twisted in the way it's like, yeah. I like the fact that I'm learning. But I also like the fact that, when someone asks me about something, I'm going to have this gem to drop. And I'm going to drop this gem in front of them. And they're going to be like, holy shit, this motherfucker knows.
as in, you like the stories, or you
No.
like the fact that you know
No, the
something
learnings,
cool.
the learnings.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be like,
yeah.
I'm gonna drop like, what was he talks about? He talks. Oh fuck. No, wait. I remember this. I don't remember. This is the thing that I do because I'll show you this. Look at this. So I'm making notes of the book of just things that he says that I can like remember. Then I might write a little bit about what I think about it in that moment.
Yeah.
Just so I can revisit it and then.
It's a
you know,
great idea. I need
like-
to do more of that. I do that sometimes, and I was certainly doing it earlier, but I've become slack at it because people often write reviews and
Yeah.
summaries online, and I tend to just read them.
Yeah.
And,
No, fuck that.
and
I don't like people's reviews because they're always personalized. I'm like, I don't get it.
Exactly. I know. It's so lazy and
Fuck what
so
you're saying. Like, I don't-
exactly.
I'd
I
rather
know.
listen to it myself and be
Totally.
like, yo, okay,
Absolutely.
make that idea myself.
And I need to spend time every day writing down what I listen to on that day and just
You could
process it one more time.
I mean, you got an iPhone. Like, the notes thing is
I
great.
use notes.
Just,
That's what I'm using it
yeah,
already.
open
so
it up, just
totally.
put down a thing. Like,
Yeah.
the one that I was just about to tell you is, Manson's Law of Avoidance. So I'm assuming that he's named this after himself. Because he's Mark Manson wrote the book.
Could be
Right.
Charles Manson.
Or it is Charles Manson. I don't know, actually. I don't remember if he said if it was Charles Manson. But I
He's
thought
a
that...
serial killer, so.
Oh, shit. I have no idea about who
Or could be
Charles
Marilyn
Manson is.
Manson, I suppose, who named himself after Charles Manson.
No, I don't know who Charles Manson is. Holy no, wait, I know who Charles Manson. Oh yeah, Marilyn Manson. Yeah, now that connection made sense to me
Hmm.
because I remember that he did that thing with the serial killer thing where he was trying to like
And
name himself.
supermodel or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a weird dude. He's
He's
a
very
weird
strange.
motherfucker. Like,
He's pretty switched on, but he's also very strange.
no, he's got this really weird thing about like how if you don't get a boner while sucking dick, you're not gay.
Yes, I remember that too. I always remembered that about Marilyn Manson. And I kind of read part of his book one time. Maybe I should see if it's on audiobooks. But
He
the
said it on Graham Norton on the show.
did he? Oh, okay, because that was I remember it being part of his book or
Now,
whatever. But
yeah.
he was
I was watching the book and he goes,
he's messed up.
if you're what's it called? Yeah, if you
Oh, well, he said this in the book. I think he said something about that.
that
That he sucked a dick, but he didn't get a bonus, so therefore he's not gay. And it's just
yeah.
okay.
I'm like,
whatever.
what?
But whatever. If he's not, then great. And but
That doesn't make sense to me. But you know what? This is
maybe he's just helping out a friend. You know.
Hey man, look. Then you're not Charles Manson.
No.
No, but like interestingly, a very similar one that Brilliant Idiots made talked about was, and which is kind of something I think in the Middle East as well, is that if you're doing the fucking and not receiving it, then you're not gay, but the person receiving it is gay.
How does that work?
Like in the
I would have thought it
apparently-
would be the other way.
Like, and I'm not completely sure on this,
Yeah.
but I'm taking someone else's word on this, Charlemagne. But,
Is it really?
he told he like I think they mentioned it. They went yeah, in the Middle East, like if it's kind of considered like if you're doing the fucking, it's not like it's not gay, but the guy receiving it, he's gay.
See, I would have thought that that's backwards. I would have thought it was the guy that was actually doing the fucking is the one that's
No, but I feel like that position is a man position because even with a woman, you're the one. The man is the one who's doing. You know what? Essentially,
Hey,
the
look,
inserting is the man. part.
He's the one with the boner getting off on the whole situation. So,
Yeah, but this is yeah.
but
Marilyn
yeah,
You know what I mean, yeah.
yeah. That's the way that it's viewed. But I mean, someone's gay if they're freaking attracted, if they're a man and they're attracted to a man, or if they're a woman and they're attracted to a woman, I suppose.
Hey, look, man, I don't have a problem with that. Just keep that shit away from me. And I'm good.
Don't be
Like,
one of those.
like in the sense that you do it. Like, look,
I,
I don't have a problem. Like, I know, like, I have no problem with being around with gay people, and like,
Yeah.
I have gay friends.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm saying, I don't want to be gay. Is what my point.
No one's asking you to be.
Nah. Kevin Hart. This reminds me of one thing that on the Breakfast Club interview, Kevin Hart, Charlemagne asks Kevin Hart, goes and asks him and says, "What if someone puts a gun to your head, or there's rumors about you?" Oh, they were talking about rumors and how that destroys careers and stuff in hip hop and like in Hollywood and stuff.
Yeah.
And he goes, "What if rumors about you come out?" That you were sucking some dude's dick. He goes, "Hey, oh, wait, hold on." And he goes, "Hey, if that's happening, check my veins. If there's some in my veins, someone inserted some shit, because that's not even an option. Like, that's never going to be an option." That's one of the funniest bits I've ever seen.
But why is he so insecure that he needs to, like?
I think it's a different ideology. Just like it's new. Like I feel people don't realize that this shit, in the sense, it is new. In terms of its acceptance, not in terms of
Sure.
it being here, because it's been
yeah.
here a long time.
Yeah,
but in terms
yeah,
of its
yeah.
acceptance, it's new.
Yeah. So people are
So you
still
have to
learning
give-
how to.
So you have to give people who are trying to accept it time to accept it. I'm like, how
Time to
how
adjust.
can you just switch it and be like, yo, now you're gonna be all right with this? No, they're gonna like, as long as they're not being discriminatory against you, give them the time to at least get used to it. Maybe their kids will be used to it. Maybe that's what's gonna happen. Maybe they die, but the next generation that comes, they get a little easier on
Yeah.
it. That's what happened with slavery as well.
The thing that's really odd about gay people is that it used to be illegal in Australia to be gay until like 1983 or something, I believe, that it was actually illegal in
I think
Australia.
India is
like, what the
still
fuck?
no.
I was in shock when I heard that.
India's not still.
It's
Yeah, but
just-
that 1983 is what, like, it's not even that. It's really close.
No, yeah.
Shit.
It's-
That's what, like 12 years before I was born.
Hmm.
Yeah. Damn. That's fucked up. But I feel like, look, I have to look at it from both perspectives, and I have to go that if we are we're trying to change something,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to allow the people the time to accept it and change towards it, in the sense that it is weird if you think that if you said something and now people are going to accept it. That's never worked. in no situation can you go up to someone and be like, "Yo, now this is okay," and we're all accepting it. And like Australia legalized gay marriage, but there's a lot of people that are still against it
Yeah.
because it didn't conform with their beliefs. Now, I'm not saying that the beliefs are correct.
Yeah.
I'm saying they need to be given the time and also the resources and the way that they get to speak to more gay people. Usually, I feel people who are homophobic, racist, xenophobic, whatever, are usually people who haven't come in
Spend
contact
time.
with those people.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you don't come in contact with them, usually the argument is, I don't need to know these people.
Yeah.
I know that it's
Well,
wrong.
they have no empathy
Right.
towards them yet because they either don't know many people who are gay or they just don't understand the real experience of it, I suppose. And I suppose getting them to watch videos of people that have experienced it or movies. I think Brokeback Mountain was one of those, and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert in old times were some of the first movies that embrace this kind of stuff. But
But weirdly, I haven't seen actually Brokeback Mountain, but I
don't
know
even
that
know-
it's been the butt of a lot of jokes.
I don't,
Like, it has been.
but it's not even. I don't even know if those guys were even particularly gay. Were they?
Who was it? Was it Jake Gyllenhaal and it was the other dude?
The Australian dude who died?
Oh, Heath Ledger. Yeah. I don't know if Jake Gyllenhaal is.
Well, obviously they were gay. They were having sex, but I remember it being kind of confusing. I couldn't quite work it out. I can't. It was a long time since I've watched the film, so
People are like getting mad with like, because nowadays, and I don't know if you're watching a lot of television or stuff, but like Netflix and stuff. I was into the Netflix shit recently because I had someone else's password, and I was watching.
I've got it. We've got Netflix.
Yeah, so there's a lot of shows on there that I
I
actually
hardly watch it, but
I was into, like I borrowed the projector and I just set it up and I was
Nice.
watching it. Like shows like How to Get Away with Murder, or
okay.
and there's which
I don't
is the
know.
other show. It's another show that I have in mind. Riverdale. These shows, I mean, you haven't watched them, you don't need to watch them, but like these shows have gay sex scenes in them.
Yeah,
Is what my point is.
yeah.
And there is
So
outbreaks.
does Game of Thrones. There's a few gay sex scenes in Game of Thrones.
Wait, is
Earlier
there?
on. Yeah.
Are they?
There's oh shit.
I've seen Game of Thrones like back to front. I can't
Yeah,
remember one.
Yeah, there's certainly some gay sex scenes because there was a
I remember all the
there was a
women
gay
dying.
there was a gay couple earlier on in like season 2 or something.
Oh yeah,
And,
but then not the sex scene part of it. I think it wasn't there. I think it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was because I remember Haley watched it before I watched it, and I came in one time and I go, "Hey, a sex scene," and she's like, "It's 2 guys." I was like, "Hey, I don't really need to
I'm
watch
gonna
this."
look the other way. Yeah. Wait, yeah, Marjorie's brother. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Early on, yeah. Loris. Anyway, doesn't matter. I think I recall it, but I think this is a reminder that I need to go and watch Game of Thrones again.
Again, yeah.
Because the new season's coming out next year. Anyway, the last season's coming out next year.
How long? So it's definitely not coming out this year.
No, next year for sure. They really
Jeez, that
extended
pisses
it.
me off.
I think they said 2019. Because they're trying
I
to
think they
like.
did.
I think every episode is like, what is it supposed to be? Like an hour 30. It's like literally a mini movie every episode.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the budget's been like, I think the last season's budget was 10 million,
Oof.
and now they're like,
That's not that much, actually. I would have thought it was.
no, per episode. I think.
Whoa.
Yeah, and they had what 7 episodes? Yeah, okay, look, I'm thinking off the top of my head, but something ridiculous because the dragons required that much money. You know?
Yeah.
The CGI is just insane on that.
You're caught up, yeah?
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
it.
okay,
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. I just couldn't believe it when the dragon fucking. Anyways, spoilers.
Wait, hold on. If anyone hasn't seen it by now and is
Yeah.
gonna cry about spoilers, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what? It's been a year since it came
Yeah,
out.
true. Yeah, yeah.
I don't give a
Fucking
shit.
hurry up.
Man, I will talk
When
about.
the dragon fucking pulled the wall down. What the fuck?
Oh yes.
Wasn't that amazing?
There's so many theories with that shit as well. That like there's an ice dragon in the wall that will come out, and then Jon Snow will ride it or some shit like that. I don't know. There's so many crazy theories that I got lost in. I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to research.
We'll
this
just
stuff.
find out.
Yeah,
We'll
no,
find out.
I'm looking and I'm dense about this stuff because I don't. Whenever if I talk about this stuff to someone, they usually call me a nerd, and I'm like,
What, Game of Thrones?
no, because a comic book or like a fantasy kind of nerd, because like Comic Con, like,
okay.
you know what I mean,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like that, and I'm like, I feel like you're insulting the nerds by calling me a nerd because I don't know enough. Like, I wish like I knew that much, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Game of Thrones was a good. Wow, I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah. Although, geez, it's going to be. going to have to watch the entire 7 series up until that point just to remember everything that had happened.
Got enough time. There's enough time.
I ain't
There's a
got
long
fucking time. I got 3 kids, man.
Yeah, but you got enough time to spread it out. Like, you can do one a week and you'll be fine. No way you won't be
One
fine.
episode?
No.
Yeah.
One season a week.
Yeah, that's probably about it.
No, I think, I don't know. But you'll be able to do it.
Then maybe that's what.
Something like that.
Haley and I are looking for a new series to watch. Maybe we'll just do Game of Thrones again. Yeah.
Riverdale's not bad, but I don't know if you like it. It's based on Archie and Archie comics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like very dark. They're like dark.
Okay.
Darken the shit out of it.
Mm.
It's good. It's not bad. I like it. I have something to watch every week. They just did the finale for season 2. But yeah, I don't think since Game of Thrones was something that I was really hyped about. But like, I don't think there's anything. I'm hyped about Stranger Things.
Nothing.
You should watch that. That shit's good.
I don't know that one.
Stranger Things is fucking great. I'm hyped about that one that comes out. But like, there's not many that I'm really hyped about. But I want to go back to that gay section thing. Which I was talking about because I just remember we digressed completely.
Important things in Durain's mind, gay sex.
Yeah, gay sex. No, my point is the acceptance part of it.
Yes.
So even though now they're showing more of it in television, I have no problem with you showing it in television because you're trying to normalize it in a way of being like.
Well, it's probably part of the story more than anything, but.
I mean, to be honest, Archie's has been around for a long fucking time.
Archie.
Riverdale, the show that's based on the Archie comic books, has been around a long time. I mean,
they've never put gay sex scenes in.
I don't know if they have.
So you think that it's a political statement more than anything?
I don't know if it's political, but I do think that it's going with the movement.
Okay.
I think that you want to put it out because we're trying to accept it. Look, and I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Do it. Let people, get used to watching this shit on television.
Yeah.
Gay people watch straight people have sex all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. I think it's great, but I just want to come back to saying that just give people the time to accept it. Just don't get mad if someone says that I don't get it. Try explaining it to them. Try relating getting them to meet someone who's going through those things. Have a conversation, sit down. Some people are not going to want to do it, and they're probably old and they're set in their ways. We'll wait for them to die. Right?
But what's interesting, and Haley and I have had this conversation before. We grew up in a world where we were both brought up Christian. I'm not Christian anymore. Haley's kind of on the fence. But it was definitely taught to me that being gay was wrong. So I at some point had to challenge that view. And I suppose in years to come, I very much had to challenge everything. My initial reactions to meeting gay people. And sometimes I would meet gay people and make sort of like and I didn't know I was doing that until they pointed out, you made a funny face at me when I told you that I was gay. Is that something wrong with that? And I was like, I don't think so. But I think it was because when I was a child, I was brought up to believe that it's wrong to be gay, which is completely ridiculous. And, I've since changed the way that I think, but I suppose still sometimes even today I am confronted with something, maybe not so much gay, but something else, and I'll have the initial reaction where I'll go,
gay,
or even teasing or something like that, because that's what I used to do in a past life, and now it's just about switching that. So I guess you're right. There is a little bit of time that it takes to switch that view in society, and it's being turned around now at the moment. So.
Yeah, I mean, it has to take that. I find it interesting that you said that you were told that it was wrong to be gay, whereas me, I don't remember anyone telling me that it was wrong to be gay.
Yeah, interesting.
Specifically, coming up to me like, "Yo, don't be gay."
Yeah.
But like, I always saw it from a perspective of it was weak to be gay. Because as a kid, I'm like, you call people gay when they look weak.
Weak, yeah.
Right? And you beat the shit out of them or some shit like that, right?
And I remember being bullied at high school for being gay. And
when you're not,
I wasn't even gay. Yeah. So it was kind of quite funny that...
I've been bullied.
But I was probably more weak. That's the way that they saw it at the time, because I was like a late bloomer, so therefore I was sort of a little bit smaller in the earlier years of high school, and therefore not as strong as some of those boys. And it was like, fucking fag or whatever, you're gay, and they punch me for that, and it's like, what's that about? I didn't understand.
It is like that, and I'm so ashamed to admit this. Um, but fuck it.
Hand over your mouth as well,
Oh yeah,
but
sorry. I'm kind of ashamed to admit it, but I'm not really. One of my one of my closest friends at the moment, right? And if he sees this, he'll know I'm talking about him. Was and all
we
my
need a name. No,
I
no, no,
don't
no. I'm
want to
joking.
put, I don't want
I'm
to put this
joking.
shit
I'm
out there.
joking.
But and you know what? My whole friend circle will know who I'm talking about actually. But well, he was considered to be gay throughout like school when I was there when I was in India, and even up till quite recently, I would say up till 4 or 5 years ago.
Why?
I'll tell you why. He's a bit effeminate, right? Like
Okay.
it's just a little lanky, a little loose,
Yeah.
a little the hand kind of doing this kind of
Yeah.
thing, He used to have those movements where you would be like, "This motherfucker might be gay."
Yeah.
That's and look it. And when he got his first girlfriend, I'm like, I remember people going, "What the fuck? Like, really?"
Yep.
I know he's not gay now for a fact because I've heard him talk about women sometimes, and
Sure.
I'm like, "Yo, you got some vivid imaginations." Like,
But sometimes, this stuff can be a cover up for people that are
No, I know he's not. Like, I know-
too shy to
yeah.
come out as gay. And I think there's still that in society. I think there are still some people that are not confident enough for whatever reason to come out and be who they actually are
Yeah.
as gay. So which is upsetting because I certainly see it occasionally where I'm like, you're so fucking gay and I wish that you'd come out. But then again, who am I to fucking... Maybe I'm just completely off track and judging... Well, not judging, but deciding someone's sexuality for them. It's not really fair. So I need to look at myself for that, but yeah.
But sometimes though, like
Sometimes it's almost... You think it's obvious,
on the
don't you?
nose.
You come on.
Like it's like, yo, I mean, you telling me
The
you
op-
never dated a girl and you're not like there's some, and then like I don't have a problem, but dude, live your truth, like
It's-
that kind of situation.
Well, that's what I just hope that they're not gay for the sake of themselves, in the sense
Yeah.
that if they are actually gay and they just don't have the courage or
Say, fuck
whatever,
it, fuck
like
it, yeah.
it's just really upsetting that they are constantly holding themselves back.
Yeah.
Like that's a real shame. But the old phrase "walks like a duck, talks like a duck," it's probably a
Must
duck.
be a duck. Yeah, no, with this guy as well. Like we all thought that he was. I swear to God, I thought that he was too.
Yeah.
And look, we had a rocky
Maybe he
relationship.
still is.
No, he's not. Like I can guarantee you now, he's not. Like he's hitting the gym as well because he wants to. Like I don't think. Like I know him too well enough to know that I don't think he would be.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Anyway, I'm no, I'm not even doubting that. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
so
yeah.
certain because I've seen him with women. Like it's just some experiences that
Gay
I've had.
guys are great with women.
No,
mate.
no. It's not that. It's not that. I'm telling you, there's like you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell when it's like no. He does something and like and he says something. And it's like nah. This shit is too vivid for a gay dude to imagine. Like this shit is some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, like, but I used to think we actually are family friends.
Mm-hmm.
So we started school together, and our moms are really good friends, and we
Yeah.
started off anyway. We had a rocky relationship because I actually didn't think of him as that good of a friend because I knew that he was perceived as he was gay.
As in, you were
That
ashamed.
I wasn't. Yeah, like
to
people,
be his
like
friend.
my friends used to make fun of me hanging out with him.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
It's very self-aware and great that you can admit that.
That's why I'm
but-
saying I'm kind of embarrassed about
Yeah.
admitting that because I'm like, you know what, that was a really dick thing that I used
Yeah,
to do.
totally. But
I used to do that with other people as well when I used to think that they're not popular enough. I don't
Yeah.
want to hang out with them or they're
Yeah.
not cool enough. Like,
Yeah.
and I think every kid does that.
and I think people do it even subconsciously. So
I was very aware that I'm doing it.
okay.
Like, no, of recent I've become very aware that I was doing it.
Sure.
I think at the time maybe it wasn't as aware to me. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
as aware of it.
Yeah.
But when I look back, yeah, I was. Like right now, he's one of my best friends.
friends.
Like someone I
Yeah,
would like trust with a lot of
Yeah,
a lot.
But
of
only
stuff.
because he's not gay. Hey.
Well, no, that's not it. That's not it. It's more so like I've kind of given up on the whole idea of chase. Like I realized a couple of years ago that you should stop chasing people who you want to hang out with and look around and see the people that are around you.
Yeah.
Who are actually around you. And that's getting a little too profound, but you know what? Look, I look at people who are around me and I want to be like in that situation and value that more than chase people that I would want to hang out
To
with.
be friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I see what you mean. Well, certainly when you turn 30, you start sacking your friends. I think Jerry Seinfeld said that in one of his comedic
You're fired.
shows. He's just like, yeah, you just start firing your friends. You're just like, yeah, we don't need to be friends. Who needs a friend?
My friends, no. Now
But
with
it's true. Like you do. I hardly have any friends anymore. So
but
it's actually got to the point where it's a little sad. Like it's just family becomes everything, and you kind of don't. Well, I kind of don't prioritize my friendships as much as I used to, and I don't get that. You know
it's
that thing.
weird. It's weird because like I feel like I live like a 30-year-old or at least a 28, 29-year-old because I'm like that. I'm 22.
Yeah, it's
I'm
probably why I can relate to you.
probably
So
that's probably why we're having these
the
conversations is
the
because I live like that because I'm
the only difference is you still need to learn how to listen. So.
oh yeah, I'm getting better at it. I feel I'm aware of
So that's something
that.
you do learn also in your sort of
No,
late
the
20s
last
and early 30s is the ability to listen to people and really take them in for who they are and not just be all about me and trying to prove myself. And when you're reading a book, it's not about actually trying to come up with stuff to say to people to impress them because you couldn't give a fuck about impressing them anymore. Like it's actually and
yeah,
that's a little bit of a on something that you said earlier, like that
yeah.
you're you write things down so that you do impress people, and it's
Look, but the
quite
thing is,
interesting.
it's not impressive, and it's more like I don't know what it is. Is it impressed? Because maybe it is impressed. You know what?
I've got
Maybe it is. Maybe it is that.
I've
I
got
don't know.
friends, and I don't know if they're friends, but there's a couple of people I know
Yeah.
that they every time I see them, it's they just try and be like, listen to all the things I know. I know all these things. Oh, but this, and they're always trying to outdo each other of their knowledge, and it's just like, but if they were doing it in a way that was more about sharing the knowledge and enjoying that part of it, it would be cool. But it's almost like it's a competition. And I think guys can get stuck in that competition against each other thing that it just, for me, it's fucking annoying. Like, I don't enjoy conversations where it's about trying to top each other or trying to be the coolest or have the coolest story. I love cool stories. I love interesting knowledge and all of that kind of stuff. But when it's all based around the ego and person trying to be all like, listen to me, I'm fucking, it's just I just don't even have time for it. Like I know I'm whinging about it now, which I don't like, but
We got a podcast now. We can whinge about whatever the fuck we want.
but yeah, look, I suppose I've just looked at it, and I suppose it's mellowed me out to the point where, because I used to do it all the time, and I probably still do it to a point, be competitive. I'm nowhere near as competitive as
Hell,
I
I
used
don't
to
think
be.
you are.
So yeah, good. Well, I try not to be. I used to be
I'll look
so
at you. I'm like, nah,
competitive.
Chris is too mellowed out, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is way too mellow.
But I used to be all about trying to be the best and trying
Maybe
to
you
be
should be a little bit.
yeah, maybe I need to step up a little bit and
But
try and be. But I think being centered is where I really try to be, and I want to be a better version of myself all the time. That's more open to people and more open to experiences, and it's not about me and my ego and me looking good per se. It's more just being fucking cool, like just chilling and trying to learn and yeah.
yeah, I want to ask you this question though,
Sure.
because you pointed this out.
Yeah.
Do you find it hard to then deal with these people with like in terms of giving responses and stuff, like when they're acting like that, being all talking about like trying to be competitive and shit like that? Does it like what's your what? How do you feel like you should respond to them, or how do you feel
Well,
like? Do you feel like I don't know how to respond to this shit? That's why you distance it from it.
well, I think my initial response is usually to be competitive against them and try and go, oh yeah, but I know this and I know that as well. When in actual fact, when I realize that they just keep doing the same thing, I'm like, I don't like playing this game anymore. I think I used to like it, but so I think because it doesn't bring out a better part of myself,
Yeah.
it starts bringing out the competitive side of myself. I kind of withdraw from those conversations and from those people, because for me, it's not really about being competitive. It's more about just knowing myself, that I'm a good version of myself, or continually trying. And yeah, I don't know. Does that answer?
I feel like yeah, it does, and it's. I was just gonna pick on something, but
Do it.
you actually just said that out. Like I was gonna point it out, but you pointed it out before I was gonna point it out. So
What's
and
that?
I'm just gonna get at that. So the reason I asked you this because I read about something a little while ago, which is quite interesting, which you might find really interesting. This
Yeah.
is why I asked you this question. Is that it's like a psychological theory
Sure.
about behaviors,
Mm.
and it's like therefore personality archetypes, and like there's a submissive or supplicative
Yeah.
from the bottom.
Yeah.
and growing up as like a combative person. Then there's a competitive person, and then there's a cooperative person. And those are usually the four that people have. The person that you're describing is the cooperative.
Cooperative.
No, it's the competitive person. Sorry,
Yes.
not you, as in the person you don't
Yes,
like.
yes.
And a very good way to deal with people like this, and this is also something that I was reading, was that submissive people, and I'm just gonna go through all of them because I just brought it up, is because submissive people will always go like do everything to please you. So if there's someone who wants your approval, they will go ahead. Oh, I did this for you.
I just read a book about this as well, and I'll talk to you about it. I'm going to submit. No, I'm going to be submissive to my need to get another beer.
Yes. Grab another beer.
Grab yourself some more coffee.
Nah, there's just water in that cup. I'm just acting as if it's coffee.
Do you need me to get you one while you're on them up?
Yeah, you know what? I don't mind some water.
Yep. So
I'm like locked into this shit. Thank you.
I'll come in and talk to you about this one. I listened to a book that I didn't actually enjoy very much. I told Audible that it was shit and got my money back.
Fair enough. I'll tell you what this is, and then you can tell me.
Well, it's related to the submissive one, so I think maybe it's called No More Mr. Nice Guy.
And that's exactly what it. So the submissive dude is basically that dude. It's the dude that a girl asked to come and set up the printer. Yes. You gonna go and overdo it, or
the girl that what? Sorry,
the girl. He's the guy the girl will ask to come over to set up her printer.
Yes,
or
and he'll just do anything.
Or IKEA furniture,
And basically, this book was about telling that guy to be more of a fucking man. You're actually just completely insecure. You're hiding yourself almost, and the things that you perceive as bad around yourself, you're hiding all of that, you're not being true to yourself, I suppose, and you're not letting the world see who you are. So you're actually kind of lying, even though you think you're being nice to everybody. You're actually not doing anybody justice, and everybody thinks less of you, including yourself, because of it. So, but anyways, I could not relate to it
because
at all.
That person
I mustn't be that person. I think that maybe there was a part of me or parts of me that maybe sometimes they're a little bit that way, that I'm kind of like, yeah, one or two things that I could kind of almost relate to, but I was like, but the guy was a complete creep. I got this really kind of creepy vibe off the guy. Like it was,
just the wrong narrator.
Yeah, well, it was the guy that wrote the freaking book. But
she should have gotten a narrator then.
Yeah,
get a motherfucker.
But
get the dude who did Mark Manson's book. I don't know.
Yeah, but it just when it's like he's like this old guy that's talking about sex and all of this stuff and how to do it and stuff, and it's just like I really don't feel comfortable. And how to do it with yourself and all of this kind of stuff. I was just like, man, that was about 3/4 through the book. I was like, I don't think I can handle this anymore. I finished it just because I'm so
wanting to finish it.
It's just something that I've implemented in my life over the past couple of years, is to really work hard to finish things, even if I'm not particularly enjoying it. It's more about the
act of finishing it.
The act of finishing it.
The finality of it is
that's
kind of in your head, like always wanting to finish.
I have done it. I can write it down on my list of books that I've read or whatever, just so it's there, it's finished, it's done, and I've achieved so much more from having that, pushing myself through bits that I don't enjoy or whatever, it's just more about completing the task. It's a goal-orientated kind of, goal-orientated end, thinking about the end, thinking about the end.
End-oriented goal.
End-oriented.
Fuck, I'm not even able to say it right now.
But,
End-orientated goal.
Thinking more about that than anything. But so that now that I can actually fully...
Yes. My brother's interrupting us. What do you want? He wants chocolates, and he opens the door. Take the whole thing inside, please.
Yes.
You can join us.
Next time.
Yeah, join us next time. Or
what was I going to say? I can't remember.
Well, basically why I pointed it out is actually because the reason I liked what I read was because it told me how to deal with those people, which is what I was getting at is like basically because the submissive people are very easy to deal with. All you have to do is be positively encouraging towards them, Like, oh man, you're doing a good job. Or be like,
Ah,
yo, you know what? If he comes like, I like, you know what, man, I really like what you did over
yeah,
there. Or like, you know, oh that's cool, you know. And then just suddenly kind of start asking them questions about if you want them to, you know, do better.
move
Yeah,
up.
move
Yeah,
up, and you want to move up the stages.
yeah,
And
yeah,
everyone I think goes, and it says that everyone goes through all those stages in
yeah.
life. Or at least the three of them. The
Sure.
fourth one is the hard one to get to because that's a very self-aware kind of situation to be in.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, so submissive is that. Combative is the dude that always trying to bring you down. So it's always like, you know what? Oh, this dude is doing well because he had all these things and I didn't have them. It's usually the people who are on Centrelink. And like, I'm not gonna
it's
generalize
so
that all
funny
of them
because
are like that because I'm on Centrelink.
I think, but
I
I
was.
think when you were saying that, I think Bogan, like especially
Yeah.
middle-aged Bogan women, are particularly like this. They just bag each other out and bag other people out, and it's almost like when they talk to you, they try and the way they try and connect to you is to say, "Oh, this person, they did this. Could you believe that they did that? Oh my goodness." I can't even understand it. I'm like, why would you say that about someone else? And what are you saying about me? Like, but this bitching thing that happens, I think that comes from that.
See, when someone's trying to talk to me about someone else, I usually go, you know what? If I don't, and sometimes I'm interested, but sometimes most of the time I'm like, you know what? It's not a conversation for me. But when someone's trying to bring me down, like going,
Yeah.
you know what? You could do these things because, you know, you were in this situation and you had these. Like I'm able to start
Yep.
this podcast because we both are part of a studio. You run the studio, and we have, you know, we have learned stuff over there
Yeah.
that's helped us
Yeah.
to put this together.
Yeah.
Basically, stuff like that. But whenever there's someone challenging you or trying to bring you down, the best way to actually tackle it is by going, you know what, you're right. Literally, just being
Well, it's like Eminem in 8 Mile. At the end.
Eminem's more like I live my truth. You can't say anything to me. Fuck you. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
he's the more like I
Yeah.
know what I am. Like
Yeah.
you whatever you say, I already said it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
like how is that gonna offend
affect
me?
me.
But
Yeah.
no, but this person more like if someone comes up to me and goes, "Yo, your music is shit. You know what? Your mixing is pretty crap." And your thing, I'm like, you know what? You're right. I could really do better at
Yeah,
the mixing.
and I'm
part of
still
it.
trying to work on it. You know?
Yeah, and I'm actually trying to better. Thank you for telling me that. And
Yeah.
it's gonna throw them off.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
know, what?
Yeah, and they're
And
like,
then-
"Oh, sorry." They'll start
Like yeah,
apologizing.
yeah, and that's what happens. And then the other, and then throwing the, like you can do another thing and go, but I was going to talk to you about your music, and I really like it, and you know what, I really like what you're doing, and that's just like
Now
holy
they
shit,
feel-
you give me props.
Yeah,
You know what, and it just really confuses.
yeah.
That's a really good way to deal
Yeah.
to get like a better reaction out of someone like that.
Yes,
I
that's
feel
trying
like
to
when
bring
you
you
start
down.
going at them for it,
Yeah.
like what the fuck is your problem? It's just gonna rile them up, rile you up. What's the
Oh,
point?
definitely, and that's a whole nother conversation again about people's when people are passionate about a particular topic and emotionally invested. It's very difficult to change their point of view just because they've already invested so much emotional energy into it. Then
Yeah,
how
fuck
could-
it, just give it. I'm like, yo, you're right,
I,
man.
I can't be bothered even arguing with you because it's just you are far more emotionally invested in this than I am, and anything that I say that's going to counteract your arguments is only going to strengthen the way you feel about it, and the same way back towards anybody on this side that thinks that way. So
Nah, yeah, I
it's
think
like
it's
political arguments often end up in this.
if you end up agreeing with someone, it throws them off. Who's like diametrically opposite to you. If you agree with them on
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
it will throw them off and be
Sure.
like, holy shit.
Yeah,
And then they kind of start ending up, you know, agreeing with you on some stuff, and then it's like, okay, and then you can kind of get to a point
start
where
to understand
you're
each
having a
other.
decent enough conversation. Might not happen all the
Yeah,
time. I'm not going to say it's going to happen all the time, but
Well, just look on fucking Facebook and the arguments that go on sometimes there. I don't even read the shit anymore, but
I
used to.
read it because it's good content. But like,
Some people are like that. Aren't
some's
they?
really
Like,
funny. Like I
yeah.
really enjoy that stuff. But yeah, so this person, that's the one that I really like the way to deal with. The other one is the competitive one, is the one that you were describing, which
Yeah.
is the one who's always like, hey, look, I got bought a new car, man. This shit is the shit. You know what? Like braggadocious kind of situation where it's like, yo, I'm really doing this or I'm really doing that.
But also in knowledge is the thing that I found it interesting. Some people try and be smarter than everybody. I know all of
Yeah.
this stuff, and
You should play your position. I like to know a lot of things so I can drop them when I have to drop them, but I don't
Yeah.
want to be dropping them all the time. Otherwise, you lose value of when I'm dropping them.
yeah,
'Cause that's how I look at it. I'm like, I don't want to tell you what to do. I have some friends who who deal with depression and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm a little further in that situation because I've been dealing with it a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
I usually have a few things that worked for me that I will say, you know what, you could try this. That might work for you. Just some techniques, just some little things that made me control
But
it.
does that make you feel good to?
It makes me feel good because I'm like, it scares me. I hate it when someone's going through it because I know what it feels like. So
Sure.
that situation's a bit more personal to the point where I'm like, yo, I really, I'm afraid of what path this could go down. And I often go just to the darkest place
do you-
because I'm like, I've been there. So,
But do you feel like you're being competitive there? Do you think you're being competitive?
oh no, I listen. I will listen to you. I might see. Usually these are friends that I really adore and I have a
Yeah.
lot of love for.
Yeah.
So I will shut the fuck up and I'll let them rant
Yeah, sure.
and just say whatever you
Just
want.
like I let you do all the time.
Yeah, right now. You're not letting me finish that one thing, but okay. I'm a But yeah, essentially like that. Like I'm like, I know you need to get it off because I needed to get it. It's essentially, I just compare it to when I was in the situation, what I wanted to do and what I couldn't do, and just allow them to do that. And be like, I wanted to get it off my chest. Sometimes I couldn't. I know you want to. You don't want me to tell you what's right, what's wrong. You just want to
Have somebody to listen to.
yeah, so get that. And whenever I don't give advice if I'm not asked for it, I don't want to. I'm like, it's not my place. I don't want to give it.
The next step.
Yeah. So this
After
one was the one
competitive?
that the competitive one was what I was getting at is if someone's competitive, don't rain on the parade. So when which is what you said is like I also start going, oh, but look at this, and then you go and you're like, oh shit, this is gonna just keep on going, and it's more like don't rain on the parade. Go, yeah, good job, buddy. Like I'm really happy for you. Like sincerely, I'm really happy for how you doing. I'm really happy that you bought a new car. What turns out that he bought a Mercedes. You actually had a Ferrari, but you didn't have to say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're good. Like
And
you
that's only a switch I've made in the past few years when I think about it, because I remember always wanting to be competitive like that, I suppose. Maybe not so much with cars, but always trying to show to other people
situationally.
that I know something, or that I can do something, or that I'm good enough for this, or that
I
I
still
can
do it at
fit in
times.
with these groups. And oh shit, I mean, I've only just started doing it recently, so, and I've got years on you, man. So it's yep.
I'm still doing that, and every
I
time
probably still am too. So
every time I'm going into it, maybe we're being competitive about who's doing it. I don't know. But,
maybe I
yeah.
didn't notice, but yeah,
Maybe I don't know. But every time I'm going into it, I'm like, yo, chill,
yeah,
let it play out.
yeah,
You know, just give him the props. He's
Yeah.
looking for it. Like he's
Yeah.
literally asking for the props.
yeah,
So give it to him. And it works. It works great. And do you know what? It's easy to even say and talk about this stuff. It's hard to be in that situation and be able to do it because you also have to be very secure to be able to do that in the way you have to be
Yeah.
to be happy where you are. And most people are not.
Mm.
I am not. But I am also trying to fake it. My thing is that I know if I fake this enough, I will get to a point where I genuinely mean it.
yep,
That's how I've done a lot of things in my life. If I want to change, I usually fake it to the point where I'm like, I get to the point where it becomes a habit.
yeah,
The cooperative is the top one, which is the person who is able to do all the other things, which I talked about. Is essentially who is the one who gives these reactions, who is the one who gives the positive props to the submissive guy, the positive, the
Yes.
combative guy, the positive props to the cooperative guy, the competitive guy. Sorry, cooperative.
How
the
is giving positive props to a cooperative guy?
one. No, cooperative is the
sorry.
one that was giving the props.
No,
'Cause
sorry.
he's always trying to.
How
build
is
you up.
giving positive props to the competitive guy going to help him become the cooperative guy?
Oh, it's not about helping him.
Oh, right.
It's
Okay.
about getting a better reaction out of him.
Right.
It's more about dealing with
and
it.
dealing with the fact that they're
Yeah.
fucking annoying. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not. I don't think this is about even help benefiting them.
Sure.
Benefiting them would be a different situation because I'm not even going to waste my time on it. I will
Yeah.
always usually go towards if that's like my brother or which he's not like that actually. He's completely opposite of that. But if
Sure.
I have someone else, a friend, a really good friend who's acting like that, then
Yeah.
I'll probably sit them down and be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, sure.
You know what? Like, just come at them with a different angle.
And I think there's even certain types of, or certain parts of your personality that tend towards those four different characters. And anything in the psychology, whatever department, can never be limited by just four categories.
No.
These are just mass generalizations that.
Oh, yeah.
That can sometimes be helpful though when just looking and analyzing things. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that people are fucking complicated, and we don't actually understand that much about why things happen and how people are. But personality
Yeah,
traits
I feel
and
like
stuff.
this one was very specific to reactionary people, or like
Mm-hmm.
more of understanding what values or what not beliefs, but values they have. And when I say values, I mean in terms of the way Mark Manson talks about it in the subtle art of not giving a fuck.
Sure.
I don't know if you remember that he always talks about having good values and bad values
Yeah.
to like to model your life around. And you know what you want to do. It's basically the things you want to give a fuck about and the things you
Yeah.
don't want to give a fuck about.
Yeah.
And those are the values. And
Yeah.
what and there are good values, there are bad
Yeah.
values. If you're
Yeah.
chasing the fame, it's a bad value because it's always going to make you feel inadequate.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be someone who's more famous
Famous
than
than-
you. You know
that's
what I
it.
mean? Like that's how
Yeah.
you. So those things, and I think this theory was specifically for that. I might be wrong. This is just I read it a while ago, so I'm surprised that I remember all of it. But yeah,
What is it from?
I actually had heard it on a podcast, and then I researched it.
Sure.
So they
You
went,
can't remember what it's called?
they went on. It's called the
Sure.
personality archetypes.
Yeah,
Four
cool.
personality archetypes or some shit like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, cool. We'll put a link in the
Yeah, I'll find something. I think that there is a link. There is a website that talks about this. I might
Sure.
find something.
yeah, put a
Oh
link,
yeah,
put
wait.
a
I
link in the
remember.
description.
I remember the name of the dude. His name is Jordan Harbinger or Harbinger or some shit like that.
Cool.
Jordan Harbinger, and he has a podcast that talks about. He does a lot of self development
Cool.
stuff on his podcast. So this
Yeah.
is one of the things.
I'll
Oh,
check
he
it
was on
out.
Brilliant Idiots. That's why I remember this. No, yes, he was on Brilliant Idiots, and
Sure.
they talked about this, and that's why I went and researched it. And yeah, and he talked about this, and I'm like, yo, I want to. This is really interesting because I often find myself in a situation like this, so I want to see what I can do with it. So I went and researched it, and then yeah, and I think my examples were also very similar to what he said. That's why I remember because I remember him saying them.
Sure.
Yeah, weirdly, I had a voice in my head, but I'm like, was that a podcast or was that something I read? I read it also, and it was on a podcast
Sure.
as well. But I'll put the link in for
I'll
sure.
suss it out. And
I'll put the link
put
in.
it in there.
I think I know which podcast it is now.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
just search it up. So Brilliant Idiot's one of them. But yeah, that's the person that spoke about them, and I was like, yo, this is some dope shit. Like,
Cool.
just to keep just so that my blood doesn't boil. I have anger management issues. I've dealt with that a
Really?
long time. Not anymore as much as a kid.
I've never seen you angry ever.
Because I've really tried to not get angry. I don't think I've been in situations around you that I need to be angry in as well.
Actually, you may have seen me get angry. The thing that gets me angry in life is computers. Computers that aren't working right. I can't fucking handle it. I lose my shit every
Yes.
time.
Now you sound 35, 36, going on 36.
I just want to smash the computer. Fucking work, you piece of shit.
Yeah,
I can't handle it.
man,
Can't handle
I
it.
don't. That's not something Yeah, you know what? I get frustrated when I think that I'm doing something that's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
Like I put in this wine over here. I think this should work, and then it doesn't. I'm like, what the? Like, yeah.
It's the reason I have to step away from audio engineering.
Mm.
Well, that and also sitting down for a long time. That's hurting my back now. But yeah, sitting down for a long time is not good for you. But also using computers
It's not
for
good for you.
such a long time, and screen time does not do. It puts me in this. I don't notice it, but my body starts feeling like shit. But I don't. I'm so focused on whatever I'm doing on the computer and so in it, which is great because it's good to be focused in on one thing and getting it done. And you often do a good job of it when you're doing that. But I start forgetting about things like drinking water, moving my body, exercising, and sitting up straight. And I end up slouching like this. And
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
eating, all of these things. And then all of a sudden I'll have a break and I'm like, I feel like fucking crap. I didn't even notice that I felt like crap. I've only started feeling like crap since I've moved away. But my body was probably telling me all these things and I'm actually ignoring them all. So, yeah, I have to stop spending that long behind a computer. So it's not good for me. And I don't enjoy it as much as...
I don't enjoy audio engineering either.
Yeah.
That's why I need to get like Darcy or Caleb.
Yeah,
I had actually booked time with Caleb, but
Yeah.
we didn't end up doing anything. But yeah, I need to get someone else to
I'm like that
help
as
me out
well.
with that. I don't enjoy it. I do want to learn a little more, so I can apply it a little more. But
Everything I learn is more just a way that I can do a really quick fucking version of it, so I don't have to do it, and I can give it to somebody else to make a better job of it, or
Yeah.
any of that kind of stuff. Because Really, the thing I enjoy with music and something that I've learned recently from playing all of these gigs is just that connection that I make with people is just amazing. So being able to connect with people and a whole room and be in control of that whole room, it's just been really uplifting for me, and it's certainly made me realize the reason why I started playing music was to
So put it out,
enjoy
perform.
an experience and be in control of that experience essentially. But in doing that, it's about getting everybody else involved in it, and letting them kind of shape what's going on as well as what I'm doing. And I'm kind of more responding to the room than I am actually just
Doing your own
doing
thing.
my own thing. And once I realized that it's not about me, it's about the audience, complete shift in what I'm playing and also how I'm interacting and how much I'm being enjoyed by everybody. So
More gigs.
so many more gigs, so much more opportunity, so many more opportunities. But some people call me a sellout because of it, because I'm playing just the songs, the cover songs that
Fuck
everybody
that. You
wants
can
to
make,
hear.
if you're making money of it, fuck it, and you're enjoying it.
I enjoy it. I actually really, really enjoy the challenge of learning other people's songs and doing it in a way, I suppose that's mine, but just doing it in my own way. And I think I really enjoy the fact that I sing really low, a lot lower than a lot of other singers. So I have to, what is it? Transcribe? Transpose. I don't even know the fucking word for it.
Transpose it to a different key.
Yeah, but the fact that I can do that just in my head and my subconscious just works it out, and I just go bang and I just know the chords before I even have played them. I'm like, how the fuck am I doing this shit? I don't even know.
You do that really easily. It annoys me as well. Like, I'm like, how do you do this? This is just taking.
But I can't even. I don't even know. It's not even like me. It's not even my conscious mind doing it. It's something subconscious that. And it's the same thing as seeing a color as red or color as blue or a color as green and knowing the difference between notes and all that kind of stuff. It is just, that's what it is. Like, how can you not hear it? I look at people the only other people that get that are the people that are the same. My dad is like that, and I believe his dad was like that as well. So I think it's hereditary in our family.
My dad, like my family, nobody does music that way.
But it's just, it's as obvious as colors are. Like, that's how obvious, like different notes and different chords, and you can transpose it all just automatically. It's all there. Like, it's in your subconscious. Like, your brain doesn't have to think that's red. It just is red. Do you understand? Like, your brain,
there's no translation happening. It's more like
your brain just does it, and it's the same with music. In my mind, I don't know whether I've been around music all my life, or whether it's probably a combination of that and just having whatever genetic thing that my dad and his dad have had in the past. It's pretty cool.
It is. I was trying to tell. I know what you mean, because I was trying to. Who was it? I think I brought someone to the studio earlier last year or something like that. And we were talking about it. It was a friend of mine, but she didn't do music. Now she asked me the question about how I'm writing or how I produce or how I go about that, and I'm go, you know what? At first, like initially, I didn't know. I was just doing everything by sound, but you know, this is because I went and figured out how keys work. What? Oh,
You're talking with your hands over your mouth.
Yeah, I don't know how. I'm feeling a bit itchy, weirdly.
Yeah.
How keys work.
Yeah.
And what are scales and what are chords and shit like that. And I just researched a little bit on that more, and and then I figured out which key that I like my voice in, and then I played with other ones, and basically and I showed it on the piano, like this is C, and then this is D, and then it's just, and you can hear this like. And it was hard for she just didn't know what I was talking about. I'm like, she just did not have an idea.
She didn't get it.
She's like, what the fuck are you talking? I'm like, you know how... And then I tried to explain it to her going like, you know how different singers can sing the same song? But like in a deeper tone or in a higher tone or stuff like that.
And different keys. And
it's because of keys.
Yeah.
And she goes... She tried to like act as if she was understanding. She goes, "No, I don't know what the fuck you're on about." I'm like, "Oh, this is so easy." Like,
and I find it very difficult to even explain it to people when that don't have an understanding of music. I really struggle to teach this stuff, and I've never really enjoyed teaching music because I can't really relate it to the mind that doesn't understand it because I've never been there.
Yeah,
like I just
because it always just came to you.
Because it was, and I started music at a very young age, so I was lucky enough that my parents really pushed me with it because they saw that I had a little bit of potential with it. So they didn't push me, but they just gave me opportunities, I suppose, to really.
My parents pushed me.
And I never really,
My
to be
mom.
honest, I never really pushed myself that much with music. I could have,
Yeah,
especially with
you hate the marketing part of things anyway.
yeah, but especially even with like ability and stuff. Like I always just learn as much as I need to get by. Like I'm almost super lazy. Like I've never really pushed my voice to a point where I'd be an amazing singer. I've never really learnt the guitar to a point that's you just like, holy fuck, this guy's an amazing guitarist. I've just been like, yeah, I can get away with this playing this good, and I can fucking fool everybody here in the room to believe that I'm good enough with my charismatic stage presence or whatever. You know, just use that
Yeah,
as a
I know
thing.
what you mean. I get that. Yeah, I had someone also. One of the earlier songs that I'd made in the studio, I actually sent it to a friend of mine. I said, you know what, just tell me what you think about it. Like, just listen to it and tell me what you think about it. She goes, wow, I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, why? She goes, it sounds very professional. To me, it didn't sound professional at all
Okay.
because it sounded shit to me.
Sure.
But like mixed, it wasn't mixed. Nothing happened to it. Like I hadn't even put it through like Ozone or something to like just to put some mastering on it. Nothing.
Jeez, Ozone.
I use Ozone a little bit, yeah.
What if we got that at the studio?
No, I haven't.
I was going to say.
We should get it at the studio, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good one. No, Darcy showed me how to use a little bit of it.
Cool.
But yeah, anyway, I didn't even put it through any. It was a straight bounce out. Like I don't even think it was normalized out of Logic, and
Logic does Logic normalize out of
you can I usually
Sure.
don't unclick it
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't want it at that point. And I just have that, and I just sent it to her, and she goes, "Oh, it sounds very professional." That at that very moment, I'm like, you know what? Y'all motherfuckers will listen to anything. Like, if it's told, I feel like some people you could just tell them that it's really professionally done, and you have to play it in a professional environment, and they'll accept it as professional because
Yeah.
they don't know,
They don't know anything.
but they don't
else.
even realize the
Yeah,
difference. And to me, it baffled me. I'm like, how do you not hear that? Like, this is just absurd.
And it's almost the same with my gigs. Like people just want to sing along to songs that they know, and yeah, and they're just like, oh, this guy can sing the songs, and I feel part of it. Yay! And they're having a good time, and it's great. I love it. I love that whole, yeah.
I miss that part. I haven't performed a lot. And ever since I came to Australia, I've only performed like 2-3 times.
Well, that was with me, wasn't it? You did the Eminem thing.
Yeah, with you twice because we did. Once was the open mic, and then once was at God's.
And then you did it at my gig too, didn't you? Weren't you there?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, weren't you
You're
there?
imagining
Oh,
I
shit.
didn't come to your gig.
Oh no, yeah, I got AC to do it then. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, and then the other one was when I was doing that DJ thing when
Yeah.
I did that showcase.
Yeah.
That was it, and I missed that. Like I remember the reason I wanted to do music was performing.
Perform. Yeah, yeah.
It was because in school that's what gave me like just the
It's the
like that
funnest part of the
rush,
whole thing.
like-
It is. It's the rush. It's the experiencing something greater than yourself, I suppose, but also being kind of in control of it. But yeah, and you really got to use your intelligence to work out what do these people want to hear. And I spend my whole time when I'm playing a song, I'm playing the song and I'm getting into it and stuff, but I'm thinking, what am I playing next? What are these people who are interacting most with this song want to hear next? And I love that challenge. I love trying to.
But
trying to
basically,
think
it's
of
a DJ mentality.
it. Yeah.
It's a DJ mentality.
Yeah.
DJs are really good at doing that.
People call me DJ sometimes. Oh, you're the DJ. I'm like, I'm a
No.
dude with an acoustic guitar. Yeah, sure.
I'm DG, dude guitar, not this jockey. Yeah, I miss that part of the music, for sure.
Do it. All right. Maybe that's a goal you can set for yourself, is getting more
I
involved
want
in.
to finish making the music first, and that's my goal's that. I want to start putting out more music,
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah, it will happen this year for sure. I'm putting out music. I already put a
Great.
set of timeline in motion, and I'm already putting things in motion. This was one of those things as well, but
To do the podcast, yeah.
yeah, this was something that just you came to me. Then I went to Grady, and Grady is busy, motherfucker. And then I came to you with it, and he probably.
Second fiddle, am I? Oh, at least
I
I know
don't-
where I stand.
But you know why I didn't come to you first. Like I've told you that. It's because I don't know if you would have the time to do it.
Well, that's true.
You got kids,
Yeah.
3 of them.
hmm
Like that shit. That's crazy.
It keeps you busy.
Yeah, exactly. Grady is my age, and we're doing nothing. Well,
Yeah.
we're doing shit, but we don't have that
Yeah, yeah.
responsibility on us.
Well, yeah. Tuesday night, I'm already out, so
Yeah.
I miss the kids, so I might as well do something else with my time Tuesday night, so it works.
Yeah. Although, by the way, this might not come out on a Tuesday night.
Well,
Just
that's
to say
true.
that. So
Yeah.
this is
not
recorded on a
live.
Tuesday night. It might not be put out on Tuesday night. We still have to decide that. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, how long is that going for?
An hour 17.
Right. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Cover?
Oh,
Something interesting
there's so
that
much
happened to you?
more to talk about. I suppose
We got other podcasts as well.
we got other podcasts. So what did I read this week? Jeez, that's their whole episodes when I think about it.
Yeah, we just talked about the book. We
Man's
just went from the books, didn't we?
Man's Search for Meaning is what I read, which is that was the main book that I read, and I finished Norse mythology.
Did you finally like? You didn't like that one, did you?
No, I did actually in the end,
Yeah,
and I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't realize how much I enjoyed it till it was over, and I was thinking about it so much, just going, "Geez, those stories are so solid and so real," and I love the names, even like Odin and Loki,
Odin and Loki. To me, it's all Marvel. I don't know.
Yeah, see, I don't.
I only know Norse because of Marvel and
Yeah.
fucking for all the Marvel movies and
But
Avengers.
fantastic, and how it all ends up on this war right at the end of all the gods fighting each other. It's a ripper. That
I
was
saw
great.
it. I saw it on the book list. It came up when I was buying my books on Audible.
Yeah.
I might look it up. I still have to. I want to watch. I want to listen. I'll have to finish Charlemagne's, and I'm gonna finish Kevin Hart's. I'm really looking forward to that one.
I'll have to listen to those ones as well, so
yeah.
we've got stuff to talk about.
Yeah, Kevin Hart's the one that I really want to listen to. But that's
I
more
Can't
of an
Make This Shit
entertain-
Up,
I
is that
can't
it?
make this shit
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Yeah. And then there's Tiffany Haddish, The Last Black Unicorn.
Unicorn. Yep.
And there's a lot of them, man. Like I'm finishing books in spaces of 2 days because I have
Yeah.
8-hour shifts where I'm just
Yeah,
on
yeah,
my
yeah.
own. So
Yeah.
I'm working, but I'm also listening to the books.
That's
so.
nuts, man. I was thinking I was smashing them out lately, but I think you're going to absolutely kill them.
If
so.
I'm if I'm working and I do
Yeah.
plan to work at this place as much, like I have time to myself at least
Yeah.
to listen to at least
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours worth of material,
Yeah, wow.
and then
I probably average between 2 and 4 hours a day, which is pretty impressive given
you have shit to do. What do you have to
I'm
use your
at
brain?
work,
Yeah.
I've got kids, but I still manage to, from driving to and from work, going to the gym, and also listening in the evening, or if I've got any spare time here and there, if I need to walk to the shops or something, there's just constantly got the earphones on and listening. And
Yeah, I'm not even counting the gym part of it or like the driving part. This is just at work. I can do 4 or 5 hours.
fucking hell,
And
yeah.
after that, I'm like, I've done a lot of Charlemagne's already as
Yeah.
well. I'm 4 or 5 hours in,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
started it yesterday.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is why I love the audiobooks because I'm using up time that I'm actually not using. Like,
Yes.
I'm working on other shit, but my brain's not working on this thing, so I can
Yeah,
just listen to stuff and
Yeah.
really gain some.
That's it.
I can't do that with
Insight,
reading
and it
books.
gives you a new perspective on the world, somebody else's perspective on the world, and you just understand the world just that little bit more. So,
So much better than reading books. I don't have the
Lit-
time to read books. I don't have time to.
Audible, yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't
Or
have time to do
audiobooks,
that
yeah.
shit. Like, and it just
Totally.
makes so much more sense to me. I was thinking, what if textbooks were actually an audiobook? I swear to God, I would pay more attention.
I would have
to
been
school.
so much better. I would have done so much better at school, and so
Maybe.
would everybody that has dyslexia. Maybe you have dyslexia. I don't, but
Maybe
I do.
Right, like accuse me and then go out on that.
maybe we have. I mean, I don't know.
No, I don't have dyslexia. I was good at school.
Yeah.
I wasn't bad at school
Yeah,
at all. I was
me neither.
good.
Actually,
Yeah.
when I think about it, I was pretty good too.
I'm just
but-
saying that I would have been better
Yes.
if I had
Yes.
if I had those audiobooks. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't have given a fuck. In between, I didn't give a fuck, but who knows?
I didn't actually care about learning and all that sort of stuff until I was
It
in
was
my
exams.
20s.
I care about exams.
Well, and that's just memorizing shit, and that's a whole other
It's a whole
conversation
other
as well
conversation, yeah.
about the school system and learning by memorizing.
Oh,
and
I have so much shit to talk
what a
about on that
load
stuff.
of shit
Nah,
that
we'll
is.
discuss that some other time when we can really get into that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all right.
So much to talk about, and we sat here talking about audio engineering, and people would have been like, "What the fuck are they talking about?" When we're talking about logic and
Yeah.
bouncing down and
By the way, we both are
Normalizing.
musicians. That's how we know each other is because of the studio. I actually I volunteered the studio that Chris runs essentially.
yeah, I suppose so.
And yeah, that's how we know each other. That's why we're doing this stuff.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so don't worry about the audio engineering stuff. I don't know a lot about it either. If I sound like I
Yes,
do know
me
a lot
neither.
about it,
Yeah.
I don't.
People think when I talk, or when I'm talking to you about it, or when I'm talking about anybody
A
about
third
it,
person might think so.
they
Who
always
doesn't know it
they
yet?
were like, "You speak in another language. I got no idea what you're saying." So
I don't know a lot. I'm just still learning a lot on that department. But
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
Cool. We'll wrap it up.
Wrap it up. You can follow me on Instagram with the I am deranged. I'll put that thing in the description so you can look at it. I've also actually started an Instagram for our podcast called the Overthinkers. Basically, the full stop over full stop thinkers on Instagram.
Someone got it without the
Yeah,
full stops.
everyone has like all different things, and it was just really annoying. Even the email was hard to get. Like I had to do the.over.thinkers.inquiry@gmail.com.
For fuck's sakes.
Because I couldn't get anything. Everything was taken. I'm like, who the what?
Yeah.
Like, this was annoying. But yeah, I did set that up just in case. Yeah, we want to use that and for that account only. And yeah, you can hit us up on that. Chris has got his own Instagram, which you can.
Can I say it now?
Yeah, now.
Yep.
I'm leading you in. Come on.
No,
Say.
but I'm like, I finally got a chance to talk. Yes.
Say. Hey man, you're accusing me too much of this talking shit, right?
Chris Hoffman
You gotta
Music.
up your game of speaking.
Shut up. Chris Hoffman Music. HOFFMANN. Yeah, that's the Facebook and the Instagram one.
So yeah.
Check that shit out, y'all.
Cool. And yeah, and if you think we overthink shit, you're right. If you think we're thinking about this shit,
I'm overthinking right now, man.
well, you're right too. Yeah. All right, cool. We're off.